Good evening, everyone. I think we can go on and get started. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Stephanie Allen, and I am the Assistant Director within the Department of Professional Studies. I want to again welcome each of you to the UMBC Virtual Open House at Shady Grove. Welcome again, and without further ado, I introduce you to the Assistant Graduate Program Director, Dr. Munrat Gunarsh.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I will be your designated driver today in this today's event. So we would like to, as Stephanie already introduced, I am the Assistant Graduate Program Director at Data Science program. So which means basically I am the main person and designated person in Shady Grove Data Science operations in academics side. So if you are joining us, when you join us in full, basically I will be your main academic personnel to help you in your career, okay? So, and I will be today explaining a little bit to you why, if you join us, it's a good idea, it's a good choice for your career in data science, and especially also like a little bit give you some information what you should expect when you join us in our team. One thing that I can basically communicate is, if you are thinking whether should I do data science right now, is this like I have a career, like I'm teaching, I'm a math teacher, I'm already like working as a financer in some company. I heard that data science is super cool. I did some online courses and I kind of liked it, but is it a smart decision? Is it a wise decision for me to shift to data science? First, I will try to convince you, like basically with the logic that I am thinking, that data science is right now a good career to be in, okay? And again, I can basically tell you all these like, oh my gosh, the data science is the AI and all. No, do you know what? I will not like go to fancy road. I will just like basically try to communicate this thing as if I would search this thing on my own, okay? What I did is the following thing. As a data scientist, I believe in like a little bit like a real stuff, like instead of like a abstract stuff, like a tangible stuff. What I did is I searched data science in job search in LinkedIn, okay? Because if I would be looking for a job when I graduated from data science program, this is exactly what I would do. And it doesn't matter if the data science is the sexiest job of all the century. If I cannot find enough job openings, I mean, I don't want to have a title with the sexiest job, but no job at all. So what I found is the following. I looked at two searches. I just take a look at two searches, okay? One of them is in DC, Baltimore area. I don't know whether you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay. So one of them is in DC, Baltimore area, okay? So right now in DC, Baltimore area, if you search data science jobs with entry-level positions, and I didn't cheat again. So for my credit, I want you to like create this trust relationship, because I could easily add the internships and associate degrees to associate level positions, then it will show way more jobs. But I didn't want to, like, probably when you got the master's degree or like a graduate from UMBC, you don't want to get an internship. So I really want to represent this number to actuality. In this area, there are approximately 6,300, 400 jobs approximately, okay, if you round it up, okay? I think it is pretty cool. Given that most of these jobs are paying six-figure-ish, I think this is, and in this region, 6,000 jobs right now, entry level, I think this is pretty impressive. And also, still, I want you to remind that we are kind of just finishing a pandemic. So in US in general, we are looking at almost, I would say, 38,000 jobs openings. Again, these are all entry-level positions. So this is, to me, telling that, you know what? It's a good field to be in right now. But then I ask myself, okay, maybe just I can do like some online courses, right? So there are all sort of online courses right now. There are all sort of like boot camps, badges, online degrees, all like there is a lots of like tutorials, all sort of things, right? And I totally find them very useful, by the way. And in my lectures, in my courses, I do take advantage of lots of Coursera courses. I do take advantage of lots of YouTube tutorials because why not? These are information, right? So someone like a dedicated to this thing are using it. But I want to show you some hard numbers, especially data science title. This is a Forbes, basically this Birch Executive Recruiting. They are a known recruiting company, and they are doing each year research on the field. According to their research in 2020, only approximately 6-7% of data science positions, data scientists have bachelor degree only. 94% of the people who have a data science title, like data scientist title, have either a master's degree or PhDs. So what this thing tells us, to me, it tells us to tell me the following thing. And sometimes I communicate this thing with my students too. You might get, to be honest, you might get, if you are super dedicated, hardworking, and not distracted, which is, I would say, 1% of a human being. If you are in this lucky 1%, then you can basically go online, find all these courses, make yourself a curriculum, and maybe you can learn the skills that can allow you to do data scientist. But in field, when you look for jobs, because right now there are lots of also data science applicants, people probably like just take a look at your resume. It will say bachelor's degree, and they will say, okay, thank you. So this is unfortunately an interesting market right now. There is an inflation of these degrees, and especially among the data science title, if you have a master's degree, at least you have a better chance of getting these titles. Because I don't know whether you take a look at it, but there are tiers in the field. For example, we have more like analyst positions, especially business analysts, data analysts. So these are more created to like bachelor degree folks. Data science position, by creation of this position, is created for like at least like a master's degree and higher people. So this is why I think MPS degree is also very good investment in this field. Another thing that I would like to show between MPS, so here in their research, they didn't even added the bachelor degree. They just compare the master's degree and PhDs, okay? So, and their salary. So here, as you can see, I would say this is a little bit surprising to me because between the PhDs, I have a PhD. So between the PhDs and masters, there is not so much difference. I mean, there is tangible difference, but it's not that much. And this might be a little bit misleading because, for example, they didn't tell this thing. As a data scientist, again, I have to tell this thing. Maybe data, like a PhDs are getting more level 3 positions. So the percentage of, among these groups, percentage of getting level 3 positions might be different. But I would say, given that there's at least 4 years of investment difference between master's and PhD, so this difference is to me pretty good for like a positively to the master's degrees. So, and you can see if you take the median as base, as a like kind of average in this field, so even like a beginner level and entry level jobs right now for around like a $95,000. And this is also like a reflecting my experience with our students too. So like I know that from anecdotal things, I know that our students here starts from around these salaries, 95 plus or minus $10,000. So, and then, okay, so hopefully like I give you an idea of like a data science, why it is right now still the sexiest job of the 21st century. The second is like basically masters, even though technically not a must, I would say it's a smart, like a career investment right now. And right now I want to talk a little bit about why UMBC. And this is a prelude, right? So this is, I want to do like a high level UMBC introduction for the people like maybe you are comparing different schools or like a different universities or something, different programs. So one thing that I think UMBC has an upper hand is UMBC has a name recognition, especially in this area. As I'm emphasizing in this area, especially because in this area, we are really advantaged situation because we have lots of government positions in this area. So in addition to government positions, because government usually contracting consultancies, we have lots of consulting positions. And because we have also lots of universities in this area, we have lots of private sector, like a big private sector companies in this area. Even though we do not have the headquarters of Amazon, Microsoft, or whatever, we do have their basically data centers or something like that, and they are hiring a lot of folks. And again, like a big consultancy companies like a Booz Allen Hamilton, KPMG, Guidehouse, and ASR Analytics, and our students are getting positions in these companies most of the time. So this is basically why I think like having the UMBC's name recognition and resources in this area is, I think, a huge advantage to be like choosing like a UMBC data science program. But this is a prelude because my experience, my understanding of the field is the following. Education is a little bit personal, so it should give you enough flexibility, right? So I would say the structure of the program, knowing which courses has been taught is more important than maybe this university, that university, because everyone's needs are different. So I would recommend you to choose based on like, okay, what they are teaching. Are they teaching basically like new tools? Are they basically keeping up with the new technologies? Or are they like teaching me things that is useful in the field, or are they teaching me lots of like more like a scientific stuff? Because this program is created not as a scientific master's, right? So this is not an MSc program, right? So this is not a master's of science program. This is a master's of professional studies program, which means we focus more on applied tools. We focus more on like making you ready and making sure that you are, when you go back to industry, you have a solid understanding of these things. So then, like making sure that you understand the theory well, okay? So now, based on this, now I will try to describe a little bit our program, and I will try to show you really like our program is a very solid program, okay? So, and as you might notice, we have one program, which is data science program, graduate data science program at UMBC, okay? But we have two campuses. And right now we are in the meeting for Shady meeting, right? So we had the main campus meeting recently. So basically we have this two campuses because we realize that in especially Montgomery County, in this area, there are lots of businesses, right? There are lots of companies and there are lots of opportunities, but there are very few schools or there are very few universities taking advantage of this opportunity. And we also realize that our students are most of the time working professionals. So for them, like driving all the way to like from DC or like let's say like a Virginia to Baltimore is a little difficult. So we basically created this other campus so that we will be more accessible, okay? But basically we are running this program together and we are planning everything together. So we are trying to make most of the fancy stuff available to both of the campus students, okay? And yeah, so in fact, for me especially, I had been hired last year, right? So for me, everything was online. So there was literally no difference between two campuses. I think we had one campus, which is like a WebEx. But right now, at least in fact, 2 days ago, I got my office key and I realized that, wow, the Shady Grove campus is especially cool, really cool, believe me. So, and I right now, like, I'm really looking forward to have in-person classes in fall. So who are the folks? So this is my younger version. I kind of like keep this thing as a like a requiem for a dream kind of thing. So this is, I'm still young, but this is especially good. And this is me, Murat Güner, and I am the Assistant Graduate Program Director. My background is in mathematics. I studied geometrical analysis for years. I don't know if you are into dimension reduction business. So I was working with manifolds especially. So, and I have been teaching data science before in Flatiron School Bootcamp, and right now I'm teaching with UMBC Data Science program. And our director is Ergin Şimşek. Probably you will be working with him also if you join us, our program. So, so we will be running this. We will be the main academic advisors for you, and Karina and Stephanie will help you. Especially Karina, if you join us in Shady Grove, will help you to handle like logistical problems. Okay. So more in depth about our program. So we do have two programs, okay? One of them is post-bachelor certificate degree, and the other one is basically Masters of Professional Studies degree. So post-bachelor degree, and also like we call it also like a graduate certificate. Graduate certificate is 4 courses, and the master's program is 10 courses, okay? Which I will explain both. This 10 courses obviously includes the 4 courses, okay? Let's go into a little bit in depth of these courses, because again, I would say the most important thing is at the end of the day, what we will be teaching and who is teaching these courses, right? So these are our 6 core courses. This is a little bit difficult to follow. Please try to focus here a little bit. So remember that we have 10 courses in total. Think about it in this way. But if you are basically here for the graduate certificate, you will be taking only 4 of the core courses, okay? These 10 courses, out of 10 courses, 6 of them we call core courses. In fact, there are 7, but I will explain why 6 courses we will be focusing in the first place. These 6 courses will lay the foundation, solid foundation. Basically, when you take these 6 courses, you should be ready to go, okay? But I will explain why we need also like the other ones. These are basically introduction to data science, introduction to data analysis and machine learning. In fact, we call it among ourselves a machine learning course. The 603, which is big data course, big data processing and platforms for big data processing. 604 is basically data management and databases courses. You can think of in this way, okay? 605 is ethical issues and legal issues in data science. 606 is capstone in data science, okay? Now I will go in depth of these courses because right now in the data science field right now, it's growing so fast and it's such a new field. If you look at online introduction to data science, you will see a huge spectrum of courses, basically material. Some folks basically doing a machine learning course, for example, which might be a combination of 601, 602, 603. There are some folks giving 601 introduction to data science course, which is combination of 601, 602, 604, like data management, databases, machine learning, and introduction to data science. And they put this thing as a introduction to data science. I kind of feel that we try to make the distinctions pretty neat because these are different skill sets. And also, if you look at a little bit online again, for jobs especially, data science is more like a, how to say, it's a common term for a bunch of different titles, you know? So when you get a data science degree, for example, you can apply data engineering positions. I have students before like getting data engineering positions. You can have like a research scientist type of positions if you get a master's in data science. So in that sense, like making distinctions well and defining course descriptions well is, I think, pretty important. So we really pay so much attention when we are creating this program. Okay. And this is how we think the structure of these courses. Okay. So 601, especially Introduction to Data Science, we introduce what is a data science and like how you should think about this. And this kind of creates a good foundation, and we build on top of these things, the top of this course. Okay. But not necessarily, for example, data management, data ethical and legal issues, they are not necessarily building on top of each other, but everything is built on Introduction to Data Science. It's really crucial data science course. And here, basically, we can think of these 5 courses in this way. 601, core skills. 602, machine learning. 603, big data and cloud computing. 604 is data management and databases. And 605 is ethical and legal challenges of data science. So let me go more in depth to 601. So in 601 especially, I am teaching most of the time 601 course, and I'm teaching I taught 601 and 602, machine learning and introduction to data science. This semester, I'm teaching only 601 and 606, which is Capstone course. What usually, again, if you go online, if you just search YouTube videos or something like that, they focus so much on Python. If you look at 601 courses or like Introduction to Data Science courses, it is almost identical as Introduction to Python. But this is very misleading. And I really want you to like focus on that part, because data science is not a computer science, or like data science is not just someone who can use Python. Especially on my like a private conversation with the recruiters, they emphasize some of the soft skills and overall architecture of data science projects. And in this course, we really emphasize this data science project life cycle. Okay, so in this course, we want to understand what are the soft and hard skills that a data scientist should have, and we focus really on these things. Okay, not necessarily Python though. I really want to emphasize this. This is not an Introduction to Python course. I'm a little bit sad to see that these Introduction to Data Science courses are always treated as sometimes Introduction to Pandas library of Python, sometimes just Introduction to Python. 602 is basically where we start doing a little bit fancy stuff. Again, another common conception is, oh, machine learning is data science is machine learning. You know, like data science is just modeling. Unfortunately, this is not true. And machine learning is not just like fitting a model. Being able to communicate this thing, being able to use tools is crucial, especially in this rapidly changing field. 2-3 years ago, a certain library, let's say scikit-learn, is the fanciest library in machine learning. Right now, it's not, right? It's not necessarily. Right now, you do SageMaker maybe in Amazon. Like you use some like a cloud tools right now to be able to do a machine learning, or you do H2O AI, right? So field is changing. In this course, what we want to focus is we take the most popular tool in the field that based on our observations, and by using this tool, we try to communicate the underlying algorithms and the like how you could communicate in like a case scenario or like a based on projects, like how you can make a machine learning modeling in data science. Okay, so again, there are always 2 components in this business, right? So there are tools which are sometimes temporary, right? And there are basically concepts which is like basically longer term things. So, but we cannot just sacrifice one of them for the sake of other, because when you do these things both, you become a data scientist. And we emphasize this thing in these courses. The other one is basically, and again, here I want to emphasize a little bit more, like we focus on supervised learning, unsupervised learning as usual. I think this is pretty much common in machine learning courses. And also we mention some deep learning architectures in this course, but we have also specialized courses for deep learning or like NLP type of projects. So because deep learning is also a huge topic, it requires some sort of specialization. So we do not necessarily cover end-to-end deep learning here, but we mention just in case someone wants to, like as a prelude again. The other are like core courses is basically big platforms for big data, platforms for big data processing. Here we again tool is basically more important, I would say, because we first talk about the concept of big data. Why is a big deal? What are the challenges, right? So what are the history of the big data a little bit? Like what were the tools that has been used in 5 years span? The big data tools has changed unbelievably. Like we start with like a Google's basically file system, now then Hadoop, but right now Spark is basically a dominant tool, and we are focusing on this tool, and we are studying big data analysis, okay? And we are trying to use also some like a cloud computing systems in this course. So it is basically in that sense, this course is more like a focused on the cutting edge basically tools in the field. In data management course, again, we focus on SQL and how you basically manage data, okay? I want to again emphasize there are always tools and concepts, right? Data management, database management, these are concepts. SQL is a tool, right? But SQL is still unbelievably popular tool. So this is a counterexample to something in this field that has been stick to the like a keep their coolness basically over the years, because many companies still keeping their data in their databases. SQL, it looks like, will be relevant for a long time. And even new tools are kind of using their syntax still. So learning this thing is a huge plus. And this is why we didn't basically add this SQL or data management skills into the introduction to data science as some like tutorials are doing or some programs are doing. We want you to really understand the basics of SQL and like a database management and data management skills. Because my understanding is, yes, AI, machine learning, these are all cool. Everyone is talking about these things, but in my talks with the recruiters, they talk most of the time about SQL, most of the time about database management. So there are cool things, there are hype things, there are Twitter things, there are actual things, and I want you to focus like actual things, because these will give you the jobs. These will make you successful in your career. Finally, we will be going to, okay, so once you finish these 4 courses, you will be getting a graduate certificate from us, okay? So this is basically, if you apply for graduate certificate, these are the 4 courses you will be finishing. To be honest, this is pretty good, solid foundation, right? So if you get these 4 courses, you will be covering most of the basic things in data science. So, and this will make some folks job ready, to be honest. Okay. I have some students, even like they get like after like they finish these 4 courses, they can find good, like well-paid internships and also sometimes jobs. So these are really good foundations. But if you are basically here for the master's program, So then you will be taking some advanced courses, okay? The core courses, I think, which everyone should take really. In every program, this course should be there, okay? Because this is getting more and more attention. This is a real thing. This is not just like a, you know, we didn't put this thing as a like a to look right. I personally 100% believe this thing. Companies are paying more attention because this has an actual monetary value for the companies. Right now, companies, especially big ones, do not want to apply an algorithm and then be sorry in terms of biases and like social justice issues. So this is really important. And other thing is like a legal issues in data science, right? So copyright issues or like a software issues, like whether you use like open source libraries and then who owns the software or like a program later on. These are important issues, and this is the things that you will be learning in this course. Finally, when you finish these 5 courses, we will ask you to do a capstone, okay? This capstone will be basically your internship you can think of, right? So if you find an internship, great, and we sometimes allow students to do their internship work as their capstone, like they basically iterate their internship work as their capstone work, right? But if you, let's say if you couldn't find an internship, then basically this is your internship. The structure of this thing is the following. So we divide you into 4 or 5 people groups, sometimes 4. I think usually we go with 4. And then I become, or Ergun, Dr. Shimshek become your team leader, data science team leader. And we are meeting weekly to basically see your progress. You come up with the idea, you collect the data, you clean the data, right? You ask, but we always emphasize the business question. So you put a business question in the first week before you start the course, okay? And then at the end, we check whether you can accomplish this task or not. So this is really pretty much, we are trying to make this thing as much as possible to mimic an actual work environment, okay? And 3 months span, which is a semester long, right? 14 weeks, 15 weeks is pretty good time to be able to at least bring a project, bring an idea, from as a how to say, prototype, right? So it's a good time to do the first draft for the project, and we basically help you to navigate in this thing. And obviously, even if you have all these core hard skills, if you want to run a project, it's not necessarily only data science skills. You need also some sort of management, communication, and leadership skills. I cannot emphasize how much recruiters are emphasizing this thing in my talks with them. And unfortunately, I see also in capstone projects, especially, I see this can always go more. This skill can always go more. And you immediately see, oh, okay, this student is thinking really clearly. This is so important. I can see that it is not necessarily fancy work, but I can see basically they are doing a pretty good job. Okay, so it is, I think, in terms of recruiters, they are also valuing this thing a lot. Okay, so this is also the course that you will be learning some project management, leadership, and communication skills. These are the 7 core courses that we have in the program. Do you see why it was 6 courses, all data related? The 7th core course, which is again a core data science skill, which is project management, leadership, and communication skills. Okay? Okay, so I told you that the graduate certificate was 4 courses, 601, 602, 604, 603, 604, right? And the master's program was 10 courses, and I already explained to you 7 of them. Okay, what about these 3 of them, right? So 3 of them are elective courses. Based on your background, based on in which direction you would like to go in your career, you will choose these 3 courses. Any data-related courses is counted towards these 3 elective courses. As long as you check with us without enrolling this course, and if you get a green light from us, then basically we will count these courses to your master's degree. But because some people might not have a clear idea, we recommended we come up with some packages. And this is also like, remember the structure. We talk about why data science, why master's program, and why UMBC, right? And why Shady Grove, right? So, and this is basically a long description of why UMBC and why Shady Grove. Data science is a very interesting field because if you look at people doing data science, they are doing data science in finance. They are doing data science in healthcare. They are doing data science in social sciences. They are doing data science in other fields, right? So there's no such thing doing just data science. So in order to be able to do and prepare for the data science positions, you should get also these other field courses, right? And this is where I think we come a little bit like we have this advantage. Because at UMBC, especially at Shady Grove is the campus, basically 9 University of Maryland universities come together and created this hub. Shady Grove campus is a hub, basically. It's not just one university. It's not just UMBC's campus. We have many different, basically, academic programs here in Shady Grove. Basically, you can look at, let's say, College Park is offering a certain certificate program also. You can choose courses from them. And we basically count these courses towards your master's degree. This is the advantage. You have a huge selection. Only under the UMBC umbrella, we have a huge selection of courses. We have a huge selection of specialties, which I will try to communicate a little bit. And my analogy is the following. So I hope that you will like this analogy. I kind of feel that the core courses is the tree trunk, So a healthy tree should have a long, good, solid trunk, right? And the electives are branches, okay? And I kind of say that, to be able to reach out to delicious fruits, you usually go far in the branches, okay? So usually the good, healthy, and, the delicious fruits be in the, like a far-reached branches, okay? And electives are basically branches. Data science skills are cool, but you need to specialize a little bit to get the juicy, the fruits, which is in this case, most of the time. And okay, so which is most of the time, I think, celery here, the delicious food. And here, this is the tree that I kind of think, and probably you think also that this is the data science tree, but reality is the following. Reality is basically the data science tree is more like this. A huge, long tree, no branches at all. You need to do a lot of investment, right? A lot of taking a lot of courses. And then at the top, we have some branches, okay? So this is more realistic data science tree in that sense, okay? At UMBC Data Science program, we have these pathways. Pathways are packaged electives for you. Do you remember you had these 3 electives? These are basically our curated elective packages for you. Do you have to choose 3 courses from cybersecurity? No, not necessarily. But we created these things for you. We basically selected some courses from cybersecurity, and we are telling you that if you take these courses, we will give you some extra certificate. We will give you some extra, basically like a pathway credits or something like that, okay? There are some designated paths for you, and we call them pathways. Instead of each semester, you are searching brand new, like, electives, okay? And you take one electives from, let's say, health IT, and one electives from cybersecurity, and one elective from advanced analysis. And when you go to the recruiter, when you are in an interview, it doesn't talk to each other. There is no underlying context, and it will not look as strong as you focused on one field. Okay? Why they are in bold letters and some of them are in gray letters, right? Some of them are gray. The difference is the following. We do have these cybersecurity, management science and project management, special analytics, and bioinformatics in Shady Grove. Okay? So if you are in Shady Grove, we can guarantee that you can take courses from these pathways. If you want to get courses from health IT, public policy, advanced computing, and advanced analysis, we cannot guarantee that there will be a course related to these pathways in Shady Grove every semester. Let's go into more details about these pathways. We basically created these courses, they are basically already courses given by cybersecurity program at UMBC. They are also running a master's program like us. They have their graduate certificate. Do you remember this 4-course graduate certificate? Cybersecurity has the same thing. So if you finish this 3-course plus this engineer management course, like a leadership course, right? Then you will get a graduate certificate from cybersecurity, for example. In addition to your master's degree in data science, you will get a graduate certificate from cybersecurity. Not all of the pathways offer graduate certificate, okay? So you can take only graduate certificate for those who offers the graduate certificate in their program. Because each of these basically pathways are collaboration with another graduate program, basically with data science. So what we have in Shady Grove, we do have cybersecurity, especially if you have, and I want to emphasize this part, cybersecurity is an amazing field right now and perfect combination with data science, especially if you are living in this area, especially if you have citizenship, US citizenship. This is a perfect career path for you if you're interested, obviously. Another really a niche thing that we have is basically our collaboration with NIH, National Institute of Health. And so we have this collaboration with them, which is we are offering bioinformatics pathway. So basically you can choose they're offering lots of bioinformatics course. You can basically choose from their courses and you can basically count towards 15 credits from them to our master's program. And I know that right now this is still ongoing project, but it is coming to an end. NIH is planning to offer also fellowship, and they are very eager to hiring right now. So this looks like in the next couple of years, if you are having a bioinformatics pathway, like a bioinformatics pathway in data science, this is a really good career. Right now in this field, there are lots of openings. But obviously in all of these pathways, right? So let's also make something very clear. All of these pathways has some requirements. For example, I studied English literature in my bachelor degree. Now I want to do bioinformatics pathway. Can I do it? It depends on which course you are trying to get, okay? And each courses, even in our data science department or program, we have the courses prerequisites, right? So you should be fulfilling these things before you can take these courses. And not all the pathway courses that I give you this list is not offered every semester. You should be checking basically the program's like offerings, but obviously they are offering other courses every semester, and this list is not exhaustive. So instead of HIT 759, if they offer at that year's 760, and if this is, we can still count this thing towards your healthcare analysis pathway. So these courses are just suggestive. And as I said, you still have the flexibility, basically mix and match between these pathways, but then obviously you will not be getting any certificate, graduate certificate or something. As I said, that there are some prerequisites that are like not necessarily offered every year, and cybersecurity and project management. If you finish these 3 courses in cybersecurity and project management, you will get a graduate certificate in addition to your master's degree in data science. So finally, why again, like, okay, what we are teaching, who is teaching these courses, right? Believe me, because right now I have a first-hand experience, finding the right people is the challenge here, okay? And this is, again, UMBC brand is helping us. So these faculty, again, we have lots of PhDs in our program, but these PhDs are not academics necessarily. They have also tons of industry experience, okay? So some of our faculty has been working already in Booz Allen Hamilton. Do you remember this? In this region, we have important consultant companies, Booz Allen Hamilton, KPMG. So these people are working as a higher rank workers there. And we, to be honest, taking advantage of their connections a lot, okay? There are like a faculty basically teaching, like a working with Social Security Administration. We have some faculty working for Transportation Administration and IBM. So we have really good connections with the company. And if you show up in their courses, let's say someone is working for Booz Allen Hamilton, and you take their courses, you showed like you performed very well, it's pretty likely that you will end up with an internship in Booz Allen Hamilton if they have any openings that year, right? So this kind of connections are crucial. We are unbelievably lucky to have amazing faculty in our program. And some of our faculty already have textbooks from O'Reilly or PACT. Basically, they are experts in the field. They are nationwide recognized in their field. So I would really recommend you to go ahead and search our faculty. You will see that it's amazing. It's amazing. Some of these faculty was already here before I came. I'm still surprised a little bit, like how come we were able to collect such a unique folks, really. It's really surprising and nicely surprising. Okay. So I can see what if like I do not have enough background, but I will postpone this thing because you will be asking this question. Anyway, I will be skipping this slide, and then I will talk a little bit about our data elective courses. In addition to this, cybersecurity, project management, healthcare, we have also advanced data courses, data science courses. They are basically practical deep learning, natural language processing, artificial intelligence for practitioners. For example, for the artificial intelligence for practitioners, Patricia Stanton is teaching this course, and she's getting a grant, like a donation from NVIDIA, and they are doing a collaborative program with, I think, Oxford University. So they are doing a unique and very cool stuff in this course. Okay. And basically, again, you can mix and match. We have this flexibility in our program. So you can either start with the foundational courses and then take the 7 course and then make your pathway courses. And again, we have these 3 courses, electives. You can basically use them pretty much flexible way. And in this slides, I basically explaining them. Now, I want to pass the microphone to Stephanie. She will explain a little bit us the logistical and admission related issues. And Stephanie, I'm sorry, I just take a little bit extra time.
No, you're fine. You're giving them all of the good meat of the actual academic portion that they need. But again, to switching into my part, I'm going to speak with you all a bit about the admissions and the application process. So in terms of admissions, to be applicable for consideration, all applicants must hold a bachelor's degree in any subject matter with a minimum GPA of 3.0 on the 4.0 scale. If your previous institution has a different scale, no problem. We have graduate school administration that can accurately convert this for committee review. All prior coursework should include calculus, statistics, and basic programming, all 3, such as Python, which is the main language for our program. If an applicant has work experience that would demonstrate abilities in programming, this may be a factor of consideration towards requirements. However, if you do not have prior coursework or work experience, as we've shared before, we recommend that you take online courses in statistics, linear algebra, and/or programming. While the GRE is not a requirement, international applicants must demonstrate proficiency in the English language by submitting one of the 3 tests as shared via screen. We're also currently accepting Duolingo test reports, but all score reports must be less than 2 years old. And then in terms of the actual application process, you will apply online, which all applications are managed by our trusted partner, CollegeNet. You can find the application link on screen, or you may also find it via our data science website under the How to Apply section. As part of the application packet, you'll need to request all official transcripts be sent to the UMBC Graduate School. This can be done via US mail or via their email, which is gradschool@umbc.edu. Again, the information I'm sharing is also available via our website. For those who are current UMB students and or alumni, you must still request or personally upload your UMBC transcript and submit it within your application. It is not an automatic for our committee to go into the system to pull that transcript. For our international applicants, again, you must provide one of the English proficiency test reports, as well as we require you to submit 2 letters of recommendation, which must be on letterhead and signed by the recommender. In terms of your academic resume, we get a lot of questions regarding what is best to include within this type of resume. Basically, we are looking for information such as your GPA, awards received, research experience, and any programming and coursework background that would be relevant towards program skills learned. And then your statement of purpose. This is your goal statement, and it's where we really get the chance to know you, your background, and your academic intent in data science, as well as your future career plans. It's also where you can briefly share any concerns of perhaps a lower GPA or test report. And then lastly, transfer credit. We do accept up to 6 hours of graduate level coursework. In order to have this evaluated, you must send the following to Karina Jenkins: a completed UMBC transfer credit request form, which is found on the UMBC website. As an important note, please do not just send an email to Karina saying that you want certain courses to be evaluated. It must begin with the UMBC transfer credit request form. And then the supplemental documents would include the course description, a syllabus, and the number of credit hours. So that's a brief overview of the application and admission process. At this time, I'm going to return the presentation to Dr. Murat, but I will be available at the end to assist with any questions.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. And I will not take us a lot of time. I just want to wrap things up. Again, remember that I want you to think about why, right? So why is always a good question. And I try to explain why our program is really good program. And, I think overall, we do a really good job here with our a structure of our program, with amazing faculty, with the advantage of Shady and UMBC. We are really good in a good position here. So do we see the outcomes of these things? And I would say, even though we are a relatively new program, we do see the outcomes of these things. Here I put 2 of our previous students, and they have Jessica. One of them is Jessica. Jessica was one of our apparently first a cohort students, and she got a position even before basically she finished the program. And right now, initially this was a wow, okay, she didn't even finish the program and got a really good offer. Right now it is more than it's a kind of like a custom thing in our program, to be honest. And Nick has already a position, and he basically wanted to shift a career or upgrade a little bit his current position, and he got a 56% salary raise increase after he graduated. And these are students like I didn't work with personally, but let me tell you some anecdotal note. This semester, one of my students got a job offer. I think I can say the number because you cannot tell who is this. So they offered basically like $73,000 as an initial salary. And she said, because she knows that the market is competitive. And when she said, like she negotiated a little bit, they raised their salary to $90,000. And they were basically explicitly saying her that this is mostly because of her master's degree. So, and I, from only my courses with my personal connections to recruiters and stuff, I was able to get hired. I think it is the fourth students is right now interviewing with a company. So the field is right now is really good. So we are really good in a very good way positioned ourselves in the market. So I would I will say we are really in a good place. Hopefully you will join us too, and we will be able to do work together. I am always enjoying to work with new students and like a new backgrounds. So hopefully this presentation helped a little bit to give you an idea about our program. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, reach out to especially Karina, but Stephanie also. And if you have more questions, I can take them right now. But if you want to like go on one-on-one with me, I can also set up meetings with you if you have any questions. Okay, so this is our basically deadlines and stuff. I just want to show you one more time our basically emails. Okay, so you can send emails to this email and this email. Okay, so please take a note of these things, and we will share these recordings also. And my personal work email is basically this one. Please take a note of this. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Okay, now I can take your questions.
Murat, I'm going to start off with the questions that were submitted to me privately, and we'll read them aloud and have you answer. As I'm doing that, just wanted to make a note that when Murat shared the email addresses, please contact Karina Jenkins. I, Stephanie Allen, am associated with the main campus. So although there are general questions I can answer for you as the assistant director, Karina Jenkins is the graduate manager for the Shady Grove. So she would be your actual contact person.
So here. So please, in that sense, Shader, if you are planning to apply for Shady Group, please reach out to this email to Karina, okay?
Thank you. Okay, a couple of questions. I've got 4 right here. And even though we're at 7:02 p.m., we are here for you. So if you have other questions, please at this point, continue to put them in the chat box publicly or privately to me, and we will read them. But to start with these 4, Murat, is there a chance to speak with alumni about the different pathways to help us decide, or any other figures?
I couldn't understand the first part of the question. Can you repeat again, Stephanie?
They wanted to know, in talking about the different pathways, besides you or Dr. Simsek, are there alumni or other available people that you would suggest that they speak with?
Oh, I think it's a good question. So right now, if anyone wants to reach out to these people, I can basically give them, I can check with these students first, and then I can basically reach out to them, and then I can give their contact number if you want to like reach out to them. But I would recommend, for example, if you go to my LinkedIn account, so, or if you search basically our alumni, and you can, if you do not want to go through me, I would say it's a very good idea to check with the alumni. I would definitely recommend this thing. Obviously, we do have lots of alumni who successfully right now graduated. If anyone wants to talk with them, I can give them some contact info.
Excellent. The next question is, I have a bachelor's in biology, and I want to see what prerequisites are needed for the different pathways.
I mean, for biology, it's the pathways do not have a written prerequisites. So here, let me show you the pathways. But if you have, for example, biology major, I would say probably you will be eligible for most of the bioinformatics courses in bioinformatics pathway. So let me clarify a little bit again. These pathway courses are basically our suggestion to you, right? And we basically try to maximize the benefit of this program for you. Why? For example, again, we do not have any requirements for you to, if you choose one courses from cybersecurity pathway, you do not have to stick to cybersecurity pathway. But we basically put these list of courses together so that if you stick to this list, you will get extra credits as extra certificates. So these programs has their own prerequisites. So I would recommend, and you can always reach out to me again for this specific individual cases about the certain pathways and whether you satisfy the requirements, and I can take a look at that. But otherwise, you can go to, for example, cybersecurity, UMBC, and then they will talk about their like requirements, all right? So prerequisites. But I would say if we accept a student and if we basically tell, okay, these students can do a certain thing, most of the time we like communicate with these programs, and we didn't have any cases a student couldn't make a pathway because of their background, to be honest. With biology background, you would be eligible for healthcare analysis pathway and most of the courses in healthcare analysis pathway and bioinformatics pathway, I would say.
Okay. What is the class size at Shady Grove compared to main campus?
It's a good question. Obviously, because in Shady Grove, we are relatively new than the main campus, our class sizes are relatively smaller, but right now we are getting lots of demand. And the good news is we will never have more than 25 students in a classroom. So this is right now in overall, we have 350 plus students. And this is like a total of Shady Grove main campus. But in every section, we have at most 25 students, plus or minus one or two, but it never, we basically stick to that. So we will not have these huge classes that you get lost, because we understand, especially this kind of technical courses, students have different needs, and this requires like a one-to-one interaction, and we try to do that with lower size classes. But the numbers are varies between different courses, right? So because for example, 601, 602, we usually have like 20 plus minus a couple of students. But in some electives, we might have lower. And also it depends a little bit on the section.
I had a couple of questions of the same nature. And so they're basically, are the classes online and or are the courses all being done through WebEx or Zoom?
This is a great question, because right now with the, so before, right? So basically 2 years ago, there was no such a thing. Like online programs were online, in-person programs were in-person. But now we have experience. We have experience of online teaching. What we are trying to do here is the following. We acknowledge that our students are working professionals also, not necessarily just undergraduate graduates, right? So to be able to accommodate everyone, we try and we will to offer one course online for every core courses. So for these 7 core courses or 6 core courses we are offering, we will offer at least one online section. So even if you are not like be in person, you will be able to have this option to be have online. But also we will have in-person section. So if you say, do you know what, online is not for me, then you will have this option to be able to be in person. This is also another advantage, that we have the scale so that we can have these options. Whether we are using Zoom or WebEx, I used WebEx in my previous classes. We have Blackboard, Collaborate also, we are using this. So we use different platforms. We give the instructors the flexibility to use different platforms.
This was a question that I can help answer, and it was about if the student was a master's student or flipped it and decided to add the certificate, is that a full application? And the answer to that is, once you are an admitted master's student and you decide to do a certificate, We have a simple internal one-page form that you would fill out with your program coordinator, which again, for Shady Grove is Karina Jenkins. So again, once you've decided you want to do that, it's not a full application like when you applied for the master's. It's an internal application. So you would just contact Karina and she will send you the form and give you follow-up information. It's a very, very simple process. Okay, the next question. I graduated from UMBC in 2018, but my GPA is under a 3.0. Would I need to take additional courses to raise my GPA prior to applying?
I mean, if your GPA is significantly lower than 3.0, I think you should find a way to make it higher, because right now we have lots of candidates, and we want to also like make sure that in the classrooms we have some homogeneity, right? Because otherwise there are like a huge gaps between skills in a classroom, and then it becomes a challenge for a high some students know all these things and some students need refreshing. Either we cannot serve these students or we make wait other students, so it is not good. So we try to put some like a criteria so that we know that everyone is on the same page. And the GPA is one of the things we do not have lots of flexibility, to be honest. So if you have an exceptional case, if you are like a GPA is, let's say 2.7, but you have an exceptional case, right? So all of your computer science courses are A, all of your statistic courses are A, the other courses are basically drawing like taking your GPA lower. And this is why we have statement of purpose. If you can make your case very legitimately, then it is very difficult, but we like that. There is very, very, very tiny room there. If you want, we can talk personally, as like one-to-one. But GPA is one of our requirements. 3.0 is we are looking for this thing.
Okay, at this time, these are all the questions that I have submitted. But as Dr. Ganesh did say, if you all want to unmute and begin asking any questions, I'd say we probably have about 5 more minutes. I would say that we ask that you ask general questions. And what that means is if you're trying to get kind of like a pre-advisement type of appointment, this kind of open forum would not be what we would do. We would actually ask that you be in touch with us offline and ask to set up that kind of pre-appointment with Karina Jenkins. But if you have some other general kind of questions for the good of the group, we invite you to unmute and turn your camera on and ask us now.
Sure, I have a question.
And can you introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Ajay Yadav. I work at NIH and I have a master's degree. And can we go from like if we are applying for courses, certification program, can we later on decide to go into full master's degree program in data science? Can we switch from certification towards a degree program?
Stephanie, could you take this question?
I actually can. I had answered that in the private chat. I don't think you saw that, but this is also, like you said, a great question for the group. Yes, you can do either or. As I explained about the master's for the certificate, that's a one-pager. And the opposite, if you are a certificate student wanting to go for the master's, you actually would have to fill out the complete degree seeking application for that, because the master's requirements are a bit more thorough than just a certificate. So again, if you are starting as a certificate student, but want to get into the MPS, you would have to fill out the complete degree seeking application. However, we can, by you letting us know, we can go ahead and pull some of those supplemental materials that were submitted from your certificate to go towards that MPS application. Some of those would be the similar requirements, but again, you would still have to start off with a full degree seeking application.
Any other questions? And thank you so much all. You stick that late, and I hope I didn't talk a lot and bother you at that time of the day. I'm sure most of you are tired or something. Thank you. I appreciate your time here. Please do not hesitate to, again, reach out to me, reach out to Karina. I'm showing my email Again, this is my email. You can reach out to me. And I wish you to do the best luck with your careers and your education. So
you will see the application waiver fee code. So the $50 fee will be waived for you attending this open house tonight. It is case sensitive, so please type it in the way that you see it, DPS 2021. Again, many of you are applying for fall, but some of you will be applying for spring 2022. The code has not been updated yet, so we are still using the DPS 2021 code for even spring 2022 applications. If at any time it does change, because our graduate school does update it, again, by reaching out to Karina Jenkins, she can always supply you with that information. But as of right now, that is the current waiver fee code. Oh, and also I might add, it is currently on the very last page on the application under special populations code. So when you're looking to where to fill that in, it's on the last page of the application under special populations code. Thank you all for attending.
thank you, Stephanie. Thank you
Of
all. Take care. Bye.
Good night.